Hey, I'm about to say something that might annoy some of you in the first 10 seconds, but at this point I'm old and grey enough not to care too much about being liked. I just care about being right. Here's the thing. If you think an emergency fund just means throwing $50 a month into a regular savings account and forgetting about it, you're wrong. And that's exactly why your emergency fund never actually feels like a safety net. In this video, I'm breaking down every misconception about emergency funds, including ones I believed myself for years. By the end of this video, you'll know exactly how big your emergency fund actually needs to be, not some random number you saw online. Where to actually keep it. So it's not just sitting there doing nothing, and why building it comes before you even think about investing in stocks or funds. Quick reminder as always, I'm not a licensed financial advisor. This is just me sharing personal experience and research. Any numbers I use in this video are illustrative examples to help the math make sense, not promises of results. The decisions are yours. Honestly, I get messages from a lot of you that go something like, I already have an emergency fund saved up. So why did I still panic and put it on my credit card when my car broke down or I got laid off? That's a great question, because here's the thing, just having savings is completely different from having a real emergency fund. Most of us, myself included back in the day, think an emergency fund is just about whether money exists somewhere. But there are three other things that matter way more. The amount, where you keep it, and the one people skip most, where it ranks in your priorities compared to everything else. Here's the insight I think most people miss. An emergency fund isn't savings, it's self-insurance. Think of it like a parachute. You don't buy a parachute to use every day, right? You buy it, you keep it somewhere you can reach fast, and you genuinely hope you never need it. But the moment the plane starts going down, you don't want that parachute buried in checked baggage that takes 3 hours to retrieve. Your emergency fund works exactly the same way. It needs to be accessible almost instantly, but it also can't be something you casually dip into for everyday spending. And here's why the order matters so much. A lot of you jump straight into stocks or the latest crypto trend before this is even sorted. But the priority order that actually makes sense is emergency fund first, then pay off high-interest debt like credit cards, then tax-advantaged accounts if you have access to them, and only after all that, more aggressive investing. Why? Because if you don't have an emergency fund, the moment something unexpected hits, you'll be forced to sell your investments at the worst possible time. And remember, time in the market beats timing the market. Your emergency fund is what keeps you from ever being forced out of the market at the wrong moment. All right, here's exactly how to build it. This is the process I actually use. Step 1. Calculate the real number, not a random one. A lot of people hear 3 to 6 months of expenses and just go with it without thinking further. That's just a starting point. Be honest with yourself. If your job is rock solid, say government work or multiple stable income streams, 3 months might genuinely be enough. But if you're a freelancer, work in a layoff-prone industry, or your side hustle income swings up and down, you're safer, closer to 6 to 9 months. So step 1, add up your essential monthly expenses, then not lifestyle spending, the actual non-negotiables, food, rent, loan payments, transport, then multiply that by the number that fits your specific risk profile. Step 2, keep it somewhere smart, not your everyday checking account. This is the mistake I see constantly. People keep their emergency fund in the same account they use for daily spending. That's like keeping your parachute in the bag you dig through every single day. Way too easy to accidentally use without noticing. The fix, separate account, period. Or if you want to optimize further, park it in a money market fund or a savings account that can be liquidated within a day or two. The interest won't make you rich, but at least your money isn't sitting still losing value to inflation while staying easy to access when you actually need it. Step 3. Build it gradually. Don't wait until you feel ready. This is another mental trap. A lot of people think, I'll start my emergency fund once I'm making more money. It's actually the opposite. Starting small is exactly what builds the habit. Start with a small target, like 1 month of essential expenses. Once you hit that, gradually raise the bar. Consistency matters way more than perfection here. Step 4. Automate it, so willpower isn't the deciding factor. Set up an auto transfer for payday before that money ever shows up in your main account. Set it and forget it. This removes the temptation to spend first and save whatever's left, which, let's be honest, usually means nothing gets saved at all. Let me tell you about 2 people, we'll call them Account A and Account B, to show you the difference. Account A actually makes decent money every month, but all of it sits in one regular account, mixed in with everyday spending money. No separation whatsoever. Account B makes less than Account A, but consistently sets aside a small amount every month into a separate account earmarked strictly for emergencies, moved automatically through auto transfer. A year later, both of them hit the same problem. Their work laptop dies and needs an expensive replacement. Account A, because there was no separation and no clear line between spendable and off-limits, they end up putting it on a credit card and paying it off in installments with interest. Account B just pulls from their emergency fund, handled in a day, 0 extra interest. And remember, Account B earns less. The only difference was the system and the habit, not the size of the paycheck. This is an illustrative example to make the pattern clear, but it's a pattern I've genuinely seen play out over and over with people around me. Anticipating viewer objections. Now I know some of you are thinking, but if my money's just sitting in an emergency fund, isn't that a waste? Shouldn't I just invest all of it so it grows faster? I get that temptation completely, but think it through. If you go all in on investing with no emergency fund and you suddenly get laid off while the market's down, you'll be forced to sell your investments at a low point just to cover basic living costs. That's a double loss. You lose on the sale itself, and you lose out on future growth you'll never get back. Your emergency fund isn't idle money. It's the money actively protecting every other part of your financial strategy from collapsing because of one unexpected event. So here's the bottom line. An emergency fund isn't just having savings, it's having the right amount for your specific risk profile, keeping it somewhere accessible but separate from your spending money, and building it gradually through automation. And most importantly, it needs to be priority number 1 before you rush into aggressive investing, because it's what makes the rest of your financial strategy actually able to withstand a hit. Now, once your emergency fund is sorted and you're curious about the next step, how to start investing in index funds without stressing over market timing, I've got a full video on exactly that. Go watch it next. And if videos like this are helping you think more clearly about money, hit subscribe so you don't miss the next ones that'll help you build an even healthier financial future. See you in the next one.